Cool. So like, yeah, we're live. Awesome.
right.
Tim
Yeah.
Tim Martin. But you wanted to keep going. You were talking about.
Yeah, sorry. So I'm born and raised townie for life. I actually lived in Meigs County, so
Nice.
in Albany, basically. But
Yeah.
you know how it is when you're a small town. You're just like, oh, you're from Athens
Yeah.
because that's the next big area that everybody knows. But yeah, when it comes to being a youth leader at Christ Community, gosh, I was there for 10 years. Kind of trailed off after I started working more and then outside of college. But yeah, no, it was awesome working with the kids. Great time. I mean, it's so cool now seeing like, gosh, one of our kids is now like a world champion rodeo bull fighter. It's just really cool when you mentor and hang out with those kids that they go on and do like awesome big things. So
No,
yeah,
that's
it's really
awesome.
cool to see.
That is cool. Yeah, and I saw that you worked a couple jobs like around Athens before kind of going into like the Red Tail and Ohio's home thing.
Yeah.
Like, was it scary for you to make that leap, or like, did you kind of already know? Because you went to OU for graphic design.
Yeah.
That's what you do now, right?
Yeah. So I graduated Athens High School 2006. I got my Bachelor of Fine Arts at OU in 2010. So Bachelor of Fine Arts graphic design. From there, I've had odds and ends jobs like all around town. Class A Sounds, Aaron Thomas has been like a big mentor of mine.
Yeah, A-Rock, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
DJ A-Rock, sorry.
Yeah.
So he was one of my first jobs like in high school. So working on cars, doing stereos. I worked at like Nelson Dining Hall for a while in high school and a little bit in college. I feel like everybody needs to have at least one food service job in their life. I ran an iPhone repair business for a number of years. So there was a long time where people just knew me as the iPhone repair guy and didn't know me from anything else. Luckily, I've separated enough from that people still have me in their phones as the iPhone guy. But luckily, that's kind of faded because getting calls all day, all night for, hey, my phone broke. Can you fix it? Like 1 a.m. I just got tired of that. But then I did get some jobs just from that because people knew me from that.
Design jobs, you mean?
Just jobs in general.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, right out of college, I worked at Diagnostic Hybrids, which is now Quidel.
Okay. It's at End of State Street?
Yeah. So biotech company. So I was their only in-house designer. I was with another designer. He left, and then it was just me. So I got to travel between here and San Diego, which is their main office, a good bit, which was nice. And then eventually, I got let go there because they wanted to move my position to San Diego, and I was just like, no. I kind of just want to stay in Athens. Like this is my home. So then after that, I got a job at Electronic Vision, which was Innovation Center client back in the day.
No way. That's cool.
They were actually pretty big. They used to build computers for businesses and like kiosks and tons of stuff. They almost employed, I think they employed close to 80 people.
It's a lot here.
Yeah. And then eventually they sold the business, and then it kind of just became like a small boutique web design company.
Gotcha.
So I got hired there as their head of design. Worked there for a number of years, and the two owners just basically were getting older, wanted to retire, and they offered to transfer the business to me. So it was me and two other web developers. So I took the business over. Those two web developers came with me.
And how long ago was this?
And this was 2015.
Okay.
So yeah, I was kind of, every time I hit about 3 years in a job, something happened where I was forced to make a pivot. So basically, I mean, I kind of knew that was coming. I was honestly looking at jobs in Columbus and around because I knew I kind of had hit all the jobs in the area for what I did, unless I worked at StuMac. I actually applied at StuMac, but they weren't really hiring designers at the time. I could have worked at the university. I mean, that would be the next step.
Yeah.
So it was either basically start my own business or probably move.
Yeah.
So took the business over, developed it into kind of more of what I wanted to do. Actually, concurrently at the time, like a year before that transition happened, I had started Ohio is Home.
Okay.
So that's my retail business
Yeah.
where we sell T-shirts and tons of stuff. So then once I took over Redtail, took over Electronic Vision, renamed it as Redtail Design Company. I kind of developed it into the business I wanted it to be. So we started adding like woodworking and more design and not just web, even though I've done hundreds of websites now.
Yeah.
I really don't like them, but I'm somehow
Really?
good at it. It's just a lot of work.
I can imagine.
It's I mean, you have pages and pages of content. To be perfectly honest, like clients don't want to do that extra work.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can't blame them because my Red Tail Design website is probably years and years out of date. Like I haven't added stuff in that portfolio.
I saw like a blog from
Yeah,
like
it's mainly
2020.
because we do so much that like Instagram kind of just becomes
Yeah.
my portal because it's a
Yeah.
lot easier to just post something up on there and move on. I mean, because I'm probably doing like at least 5 different projects a day.
That's crazy.
You know, on top of doing the billing, the books, you know, working on social media, you know, working with our employees.
How
Between two
many employees do you
businesses.
have at Red Tail?
We're the smallest we've ever been right now. I mean, honestly, I feel like I would rather have the pandemic back than the climate that we're in now because it's going to be tough. Right now, we have our store manager, and then we have usually 3 to 6 part-timers to help me in the wood shop and then the storefront. Right now, we've had great employees for like the past 3 to 5 years, and they're finally rolling off, moving on outside of Athens. So
Like students that were
yeah,
in town?
students. Yeah,
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
a new batch coming in. Students really seem to work out to be some of the best employees.
Good.
I wish we had some more locals like to like work up there and stuff, and
Yeah.
we did actually get one, which is nice. But the store's honestly just not crazy. Uptown's not crazy busy. Everyone thinks it's a huge busy mecca, but when it comes to retail shopping, I mean, you normally have just the peaks and valleys
Yeah.
of weekends. And
You survive
whatnot.
on like 7 or 8 weekends a year.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
yeah,
the
if-
bars.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
Mom's Weekend. Like if it rains, Mom's Weekend, your first half of the year is shot.
That's scary.
Yeah, because
That's
when
just-
people don't move when they're when it's bad weather, no, like who wants to walk uptown and
Yeah.
slog around? I mean, that was like one of the things when they were doing the bag ban in Athens for plastic bags. That was really kind of hurting uptown businesses. Well, I mean, we've always kind of had paper bags. That didn't really hurt us, but we've literally had people not buy stuff because we didn't have a plastic bag.
That's crazy.
Because they're like, oh, well, it'll get wet in this and da. I mean, I'm all for the environmental impact of that stuff, and you know, obviously we do paper bags anyways, but it's
The small
it's
things.
nuts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's the little
crazy.
things you just don't think of. Especially when there's just so few retailers uptown, when that's, you know, the heart of this town, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like, what would be the other big pull would be the people that have been in Athens and left. This is like the social media getting people from OU. Yeah. that makes
Yeah,
sense.
I mean-
have you always been on the Court Street spot, like next to Chipotle? Right.
So originally, when I was Electronic Vision, it started. It took over our guest bedroom of our house. So I was just
Okay,
shipping
cool.
stuff. We had like totes like in there, and I'm just like pulling stuff. Drove my wife crazy. We moved to 94 Columbus Road at the AceNet complex,
yeah.
basically. So my office there, we had basically like a 200, 300 square feet at the front of our office. That was the store. So myself, Will, Presley, Ben Weibel, my 2 web developers at the time, like if a client came in, we'd like hop up, like sell them a few shirts, then sit back down and go to work. Like that's just what we did.
Yeah.
So I did that for a couple years. And then I just was always keeping an eye out for places uptown. I mean, uptown's really expensive to
Yeah.
rent, but there was a store uptown in the space I'm at now. It's called The Other Place. Mainly sold women's clothing like Toms and other things. They finally were going out of business after being uptown for like 20, 40, 50 years.
Wow.
And something crazy.
Mhm.
So I was just like, finally, screw it. Let's do it. I got to jump on this because someone else will.
Yeah.
So we did that in 2019. So we were open just like a few months before the pandemic hit.
And then
Yeah.
you have to pay the rent on Court Street.
Yeah,
That's
and
crazy.
luckily my landlord was great where we didn't have to defer rent, which they probably could have, but they did discount our rent a little bit
That's
for
awesome.
a while,
Yeah.
which was nice. But the thing that saved me was I started making wine with DeWine and snacking with Acton wine glasses. So Aaron, DJ A-Rock, and I, the store's closed. No one come uptown. So the 2 of us, I would order cases of wine glasses, engrave them at my office on Columbus Road, bring them up to Court Street, and we basically just moved all the T-shirts out of the way, and we were just wrapping and packing glassware for days. I mean, we sold thousands and thousands of them. We got incredibly lucky. Like, while we weren't selling anything else, and while every other month was dead, I think that was maybe the peak of that was maybe April 2020, or I don't even remember. But I just remember the other thing is, like, when we started applying for grants and things, they were like, how does your month compare to, like, this month this year versus April? I'm like, stop picking that month. Like, that's the only month I did good that, like, sustained everything was because we went viral with these wine glasses. And I just got lucky, and that's what saved me through the pandemic, honestly. We kept paying employees. Nobody got laid off at all. In fact, all my employees, we had everybody with full benefits.
Wow.
For the most part. Mainly right now, it's mainly just me really full time.
Mm-hmm.
So we just did what we could, and it was nuts. Yeah.
But that's really interesting. Why do you think that? It's just like, you're from here, I'm from here too, so I get the pull. Like, did you ever think that you needed to leave, or like, what was that? I mean, it sounds like for the most part you were just all in on Athens the whole time.
Yeah, so I am actually Brazilian, and my parents adopted me from birth. So then I grew up here. My dad was a psychologist, ran a counseling center out in Albany. My mom was a speech pathologist, ran some schools too. So this area was kind of just ingrained in me. Because of my dad's work, we kind of got to travel the world, because he would have to, like, counsel some group in, like, Australia or England, and they're like, oh, well, you have to be here for a month or 3 weeks, we'll let your family come too, which was really awesome. So we got to travel, and I mean, I have a taste of a lot of places, but there was just literally always something special about Athens. It's definitely a love and hate relationship. I mean, Athens isn't perfect, but it's always been special. But I mean, when I was in school, Ohio University was actually more of like your backup school. Like, that's almost crazy. Everybody got in. That's crazy. I mean, everybody got in Hocking College. Yeah. Like, if you were really bad, you went to Hocking and then transferred to OU.
That's what I did. Yeah,
OU, was pretty much almost everyone I knew got into OU. It was not hard to get into. But because I'm Brazilian, I got minority scholarships. Being good grades in a rural area. I mean, Hispanic students at the university are the minority of the minority. I mean, that's one of the lower populations. So, I mean, I got scholarships to, like, Ohio State. That campus was too big. Yeah. Just didn't really like it. So, I stayed here. And then my dad got leukemia my junior year of college. So he was up in Ohio State a lot for his treatments. And he passed away end of my junior year. So then basically after college, I'm an only child. So then it's just my mom. My mom doesn't really have any family here. So I kind of was like, well, I've got to stay close to her. Yeah. She's not moving. So that was kind of a big thing. Not that I didn't like the area, but staying close to my mom was definitely a deciding factor to stay here. And I mean, it all just kind of worked out, luckily. Yeah,
that's sick. I feel the same way. Family's like usually the answer. I think I was excited. Like, I kind of thought, though, like, by the time I was in high school and stuff, it was like, kind of, you weren't successful if you didn't go get a degree and leave to find opportunity, right? It's like, you either own a small business or you work for the university. Outside of that, like, where's the opportunity? So that mindset, probably towards the, like, back half of high school, like, I really started to feel the pressure, which is why I was like, I didn't even want to go to college, so I went to Hocking, and then I transferred to OU and then found accounting, and I appreciate the flexibility of accounting now, but for sure, like, there was just this, like, weird pressure that I thought if I didn't leave, but the town keeps changing for me, and so I appreciate that. Like, it's a lot different now than it was when I was in high school than it was when I was in college. And
it seems to always suck you back some way. Yeah,
that's really fun. Wow.
Yeah, so, I mean, just on you real quick, did you work in Cleveland for a little bit? Or?
Yeah, so right after I graduated during the pandemic.
Okay.
And so I actually started remotely from Athens.
Oh.
So then the seed was just there of like, oh, I could work for this company out of Athens in Athens.
Yeah.
But so then I, about 6 months remotely, and then I lived downtown in Cleveland for 2 years. And
nice.
after those 2 years, I was just like ready to come home. You know, I was ready to like have dinner with my parents on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Just because they texted me.
Yeah.
You know, the community is what I miss. Like, it made me understand why sports are so important in big cities. That is their sense of community. It's like you're just walking down the street and you're passing all these people. You kind of desensitized to it. It's like these people aren't important to me. But like when you're in the parking lot, like all wearing the same team's garb, it's like a real sense of community. And like it just kind of made sense to me. And I missed that in Athens. Like I missed bumping into my second grade teacher, like when I'm at the farmer's market just like great. So we're recording again. I think we're back. But yeah, so it took me like a month to get somebody in here. And then even once I did, then like, you know, so I just published it yesterday because I was like, well, I'll get maybe 7 or 8 episodes and then I'll release 2 a week. But then I realized very quickly, it's a lot harder to get people to come talk to me than I thought, especially like when you have an Instagram with 3 followers and 2 posts. Like I get it. So it's a lot harder to get people to come talk to me than I thought. And so then because of that, I was like, whatever, I'll record it and blast it because the kind of the no video or just even the no post-production editing is just because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have any experience editing anything, especially not video. I feel like audio would be easier to edit. Or like kind of that's what like this is supposed to be, is like I could pause it, I can mute it, like, you know, in real time, like kind of live styles and then just like let it happen. But yeah, it's ideally like we could add in those things. But I just kind of realized like I just talk about things all the time. I never do them, you know? And even this, like once I did it and like got the room and it would be like 2 weeks and then I'd be like, oh, well, I'll go get some plants. And then I'd be like, oh man, I got some plants and like feel all good about it and then do nothing again and be like, damn, I got to keep doing stuff. So I think this is, a lot of momentum, just like even getting, or just even just messaging people and just like, hey, will you come talk to me? And I got the third guy coming through next week, which would be exciting. But nice. So I just decided like, whatever, I'm going to record him and just start blasting them. And then once I have enough traction to actually build up and have a couple like on deck or have an actual release schedule. But until then, it's like foot on the gas. Like, I heard a statistic that like most podcasts don't get through 3 episodes, the rest don't get past 10. And I was like, how do I do that? And I was like, oh, well, if I just walk in the room and then like drag a file from here to there, like I could do that, right? And so just kind of like getting all of the obstacles out of the way to actually do it. Because I even like, I graduated during the pandemic, but they have that podcast room and scripts or whatever, right? I just kind of started messing around. Like one of my friends was recording a podcast there, and then like basically I just started talking to my friends like in that room. But I wasn't really comfortable with like all of the equipment, and that kind of pushed me away for a long time because I was like, I just felt inadequate, with all that equipment and like confused. And so then I was like, okay, could we just click record and go? And so then that's where I just try to get some momentum here.
Yeah, I mean, I listen to podcasts all day because I mainly have to have headphones on because I have like a laser running or a saw running. So honestly, some of my favorite podcasts are the just straight up conversation ones. They're really good. I had to adopt the mentality of screw it, just do it. Because like I had the idea for Ohio's Home for a number of years. Like I bought the domain and I just kind of sat on it and finally was like, you know what, let's just do it. And I had picked apparel because one, that's an easier thing to get out there, and two, my biggest thing that I felt like Athens was missing. I loved brands like Homage and whatnot. They had a really nice quality T-shirt. Not like a cheap, scratchy Gildan, and it was kind of a lot of throwback designs and things. So I wanted to bring something like that to Athens because a lot of the stuff you saw was just really, the same old OU shirts, or like just like bar shirts, bar apparel, let's go drinking tonight, or here's my shuffle shirt. And I was just like, well, those have a place, and we've even done some stuff like that too. I just wanted to create some apparel that people would be proud of. And while that is a pretty crowded market in Ohio, I feel like we've still kept a pretty good niche of things. So even though I'm not viral by any means with any of our products, but even my cousin's boyfriend was like walking beach in like Venice Beach out LA, and he ran some lady down because he noticed she was wearing like one of my hoodies, like
cool.
in California.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
cool.
one, how did you even know that? Like we've met and talked a few times, but like he knew our apparel and was like, oh, that's my cousin. Like we know where you got that from. And I just remember like I launched with like 2 or 3 shirts, and we went on a trip to Lexington, Kentucky, and I was wearing like one of our Cleveland Indians type designs, and I had just multiple people like, oh, I love your shirt, like that's really cool. And I was like thinking like I've never had people compliment like a shirt before, and like to think that like, oh, this is my shirt, I'm like, gosh, that's really cool.
Sounds from the universe.
And I love like when I'm like walking around seeing, you know, people from our Athens high school wearing our stuff, or going to like an Ohio University football game and there's people out in the crowd wearing our stuff.
That's gotta be cool.
Yeah, it's been really cool, and we've gotten to the point now where we have an individual, Walter Luckett, who was on the Sports Illustrator, or was a basketball player at Ohio University, was on the Sports Illustrator cover back in the 70s, and, you know, went and played in the NBA for a little bit. Like, he reached out because people at the university, like, know that we have a good quality brand and like to work with, you know, some people may not work with, you know. He's awesome guy. He's been fun to collaborate with. We've been doing like official apparel for him under the university brand, which has been nice. But I mean, you know, obviously not big enough for maybe like a homage or whatever, but you know, we have a place for people like that, which has been really cool. We've had some people like NIL players and stuff reach out, but the tough thing is sometimes we look bigger than we are, because I am a designer, you know, I can make stuff look really good. But it's a big investment because I'm not, we're not heat pressing t-shirts.
Yeah.
We're screen printing. We're doing stuff with local companies, and I've worked with a number of local companies between here and Columbus over the years for our stuff. While we do a lot of stuff in-house, I mean, that was kind of the next big step, was for me to purchase more screen printing equipment for us to do kind of everything fully in-house and make more jobs too. And then, you know, this business climate hit, which is just, you know, between tariffs and other things happening, it's just making everything like so shaky. Like, I just don't know what to do. Like, we're finally building up to the point, you know, we got out of the pandemic, we, you know, survived all these other years, and then we're kind of making another jump, and then just kind of have it on hold right now. And the other thing is just, you know, in this small town, it's hard to find space for things.
Yeah. Athens is tapping out.
Yeah. It's there's not like a lot of like just empty warehouses or large buildings. It's for sure a tough place to find space to do things. Yeah. So that's kind of been my new hurdles for this year to like figure out and whatnot. Yeah.
Great. The concept of like is it stressful? Like, well, you said you don't have full-time employees. You have other part-time employees.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's more stressful with full-time employees. Like, was it different as an entrepreneur paying other people? Like, I don't know. Like you said, you were like making sure your employees were paid during the pandemic and stuff. Like, but then you also have a child to feed and whatnot. Like, how does that? Like, it seems very selfless. Like, have you had? Yeah, is that hard? Like, I don't even.
It's
know
hard,
if I know
and
the
I mean, no, I mean, and I wish like, you know, for the longest time. I mean, now since it's mainly me, the most full time, I'm the highest paid employee, but I've been the lowest paid employee for a long time. I mean, from the job I had at Electronic Vision, you know, I took like a $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 pay cut, you know, from doing that to working on my own. And then there's months where I just couldn't even pay myself. You know, luckily my wife has a good job. Good, not great. I mean, but I mean, it's good enough and steady. She works at the university. So that's been nice, to at least keep, she has a steady income. You know, she's going to have stuff come in no matter what. So that's been good. And because we all care and we all care about each other, it is definitely hard. Managing people is definitely the hardest part of the business because life happens, you know. And because we are a small shop, there's sometimes where we may not be able to hit a deadline, or, you know, somebody gets sick, and one or two of us do so much stuff, you know, it kind of doesn't happen. It's definitely kind of been hard to do vacations because when I'm gone, there's not somebody doing my work. Yeah. So when I come back, I just have to do it again. Or
so like, do you ever get away from it? Like,
I do a little bit. I mean, that's why my wife likes. We do a cheap cruise every once in a while. She's like, I love to get you on a cruise ship because then you don't have cell phone service, and you know, it's not like if we go to like Myrtle Beach where you still are in cell phone range. Yeah. The other hard thing is, well, there's a lot of great people here. A lot of times I'll find great talent that I love to continue with, but a lot of times then they just leave. And like you came back, a lot of other people do come back, but like Tim, why don't you just get an intern? And I've had interns, some great ones, and now do great things. Like some of them like work at the university, others are working design shops in Columbus and things like that. By the time I kind of figure out what they're really good at, then they're like, all right, well, I'm graduating or I'm going to get a better paying job. And while I wish we could pay more and make more, just because of where we live, like I can't charge an Athens client as much as what, you know, somebody in Columbus or Cleveland would charge. Yeah. Because it's just a different amount of money down here. It is. I mean, even when we started Ohio is Home, we were probably one of the more expensive apparel shops uptown. I mean, we were using a nicer garment than most, and screen printing and whatever. Now, honestly, we're on par, if not cheaper, than a lot of stuff, which is kind of crazy to me.
And the quality still there.
Yeah. I mean, same quality. It's been so weird to see, and we raised our prices for the first time since I opened the store last year. And we kind of just leveled things out. You know,
was that a big problem? Like, did you get a lot of
complaints? No one said anything. Yeah. So, I mean, that's a tough thing. Like,
good for you.
With my red tail jobs, I always, you know, you're doing something wrong when nobody questions your price. And they're just like, okay, let's do it. And I'm just like, well, I left money on the table. Yeah. I mean, it's so hard because I try to price things of what I would want to be charged, and what I think I would be willing to pay. And I'm sure that's way underpriced with a lot of stuff. And I'm sure I've lost a lot of money just because of that. But I think we try to be fair and honest with a lot of stuff. So I think at the end of the day, people appreciate that. And like, not all of our clients are just Ohio based. I mean, we have clients all over the nation, really, with like doing awards and tap handles and different stuff. So I mean, that's been cool to see and grow. But yeah, pricing is definitely the hardest thing, especially when I'm doing things like this woodworking, because it's not like a T-shirt where we know the price of that T-shirt is X and the printing is this. You know, why I may not know how much time I spent like design wise. I mean, that's kind of like the R&D. You know, like why, you know, even though an iPhone costs $100 to make, they charge $700 because, you know, somebody spent years to develop that and create whatever. Yeah, I'd say only a few times have I ever had somebody say like, oh, that's an outrageous price, I'm not going to pay that. And I've also been lucky where I've only had to fire a couple clients or had maybe a couple clients fire me. And often those times is usually stuff just out of my control. You know, stuff just can't happen timely because, you know, somebody's been sick or this and that. Luckily, it's very rare that I really miss a deadline. So that's why, like, last week I was up till 3 a.m. a couple nights, and then a couple nights 11.
That's
12.
crazy.
Yeah, just staying up late because it's award season right now. So we do a lot of awards for races. And then we had Mom's Weekend. So Mom's Weekend and like 2 or 3 other races, mainly stuff for like ultra marathons and larger marathons. So those have been really fun to do, but it's a ton of work. Yeah. So that kicked my butt the past couple weeks.
Do you have like so this is like you said award season, and then is there like are there any other types of like seasons, or is it just those kind of big weekends where you have the retail thing? It's like for the Red Tail Design Company.
Forecasting's a nightmare. You know, like January, February is awful. No one's spending because they just spent money at Christmas. Once again, it's a little different this year just because the economy is just completely in flux. so it's kind of been a little worse than normal. But then I have wild cards like when Joe Burrow went to the Super Bowl. Yeah. That was in February when we're normally dead, and then that was like made up more than like what we do for like Brew Week and Mom's Weekend and everything combined. That was huge for this community, and huge for us. So you have wild cards like that, but for the most of the part, like Mom's Weekend, big time for sales. Brew Week's pretty good for us because we do all the stuff for Brew Week, and you have a lot of beer enthusiasts coming in the town. And while if they're not buying official Brew Week stuff, they're buying some of our other beer related stuff, which is fun because I never thought we'd be part of that niche, but we really are because we've done a lot with the Ohio Craft Brewers Association and whatnot. So that's worked out really well. And then except for a few like weekends, I'm really curious to see what the WVU OU game
and OSU, right, on the same year.
No, well, we're OU's playing in Columbus this year, but WVU is coming to Athens. Like this town has never seen a team that big come to Athens.
Yeah, it was like WVU doesn't have a Browns, doesn't have a Bengals, doesn't have a Reds or Guards. They have WVU football.
Oh, my wife, she got applied to a like PhD program at WVU, and she got accepted, and I was just like, I can't live here. I want to be back in Athens. Yeah, Morgantown. Morgantown is just, we were there out of school time, and it was gridlock traffic. Whoa. School was not in session. I was just like, is this normal? They're like, yeah, like you just can never move. I'm like, can you imagine a football day? Like, you're not moving anywhere. I mean, it really is. It's, while Athens is a mix of a college town and like regular people, I felt like Morgantown was just college. Like, it's just like apartments on hillsides. Like, as far as I can
very
see.
hilly. Very hilly.
Yeah. I was just like, if I'm going to be here 4 or 5 years, we'll probably be starting a family and whatever. I'm like, I couldn't do it. But yeah, I mean, that's a crazy fan base.
Yeah. I saw your like WVU is home post. Or
oh, yeah.
Was that like April Fool's or something?
I mean, yeah, it was April Fool's. We're so close. I mean, we're 20 minutes from West Virginia. Yeah, I mean, I joke. I actually own West Virginia, or WV is home as well. I've always wanted to do spinoffs of my Ohio's home brand, but haven't. But yeah, I mean, we're so close. I mean, Southeast Ohio and West Virginia. And I mean, we joke and dog on certain things about West Virginia. But I mean, West Virginia has such a rich history of certain things, probably even more so than sometimes Southeast Ohio does. And maybe that's just because there has been a little bleeding because we're so close to it. But yeah, April Fool's, I just said, we're changing our name to West Virginia is home instead of Ohio is home because, we're only 30 minutes from West Virginia.
Yeah. No, that's exciting. That WVU game would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this town's going to just explode. Yeah, and Brew Week is doing an event the same day as the game.
Oh, wow.
So they do like a little street block off and then, serve local Ohio craft beer.
So the town's ramping up. They're getting ready for those fans.
Nuts.
I am excited. I don't know that I've ever seen Pete Inn like fully packed. I think it'll probably be the first time I've ever seen it. I've seen it like full, but it's like, those like corners, those little corners on the ends. Those are like usually the parts not filled. I would be excited to see that place full.
I'm trying to think when's the last time. Yeah, like, I mean, I just remember like the Pitt game years, like the first year Solich was here when they beat Pitt here, which that was probably the next biggest game we've had. And then people don't burn couches anymore like they used to. Like I remember there were couches burning everywhere and then riots uptown, and that was nuts. I would say that would be the closest thing, but even Pitt's fans aren't the same as WVU fans. I mean, WVU fans are on par with Ohio State fans. I mean, it's if not more because like you said, there's nothing else in West Virginia. Like, I'm actually a Nebraska fan because my dad was from Nebraska, and I just grew up watching Nebraska football my whole life. So yeah, it is definitely kind of similar to that. Like, there's nothing else in the state except for this main college, this team. Yeah, it is what it is.
Nice.
So something we talked about earlier, I think may have missed, was the we're talking about like the Bumblebee thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes. So one feather in my hat, and one thing that's been really cool to do is I was able to do a logo for the Bumblebee movie Transformers, and that was just based off of I had a logo done for my brother for his motorcycle, and then it got everywhere on the internet, and they found it and were like, "Oh, can we buy it?" And I said no, but I can make something similar for you guys. And then that was a $300 job. In fact, like when I figured out what it was for, they made me sign an NDA because it was before the movie came out. It was before it was even officially announced. And then, of course, that thing like showed up on like action figures and at the end of the movie, and so that was really cool.
It's because they paid you $300 for it.
$300, yeah. I feel like everything I do is underpriced. I'm overworked and underpaid, but it was still really cool to do, and I think that one of that stuff like that epitomizes why I do what I do. Just because it's why I created Ohio's Home, like I said, was because I felt like there was something missing in Athens. You know, there wasn't that like pride apparel for our community, and why I did that. And I think that's why I did Red Tail Design, was because there was a missing piece of that quality you would get in a larger city, you know, here in our community. So that's kind of why I've kept doing it. And it's, as I said, I've lost a few jobs here and there. And I would say the thing I don't think I'm the world's best designer. I think I can sometimes help develop really good ideas, even more so than something I design directly. I'm pretty good at what I do, but the thing that makes me angry the most is when I see somebody get something and know I could have done it better for them. And, well, there is probably a little self-serving pride in that. I would say more so I say that and do that because I want everybody to have the best product possible, for them to be proud of it and to be excited about it, and then to have an item that is going to do good for them. So I definitely do sometimes, like I see like, oh, I lost that job or didn't get that job, and then this is what they got. I'm just like, no. Like, I will sometimes I'll just go ahead and just make what I think would be better just so they can have it and do it. I think that's why I miss out on money for things, is because I just like, you know, I know what they could have and I want them to have that, and then
for the love of the game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Sometimes, yeah.
No, that's sick.
A blessing and a curse.
Yeah. So the Bumblebee thing, has there been anything else like, or the viral thing that you talked about? That's pretty cool. Yeah.
The only really other viral thing the Joe Burrow stuff during Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. I think that did incredibly well. I don't think we sold as much as some other places. Mainly because we're small, even though we kind of look bigger, but it's just, at the end of the day, I'm still juggling too much stuff, I feel like. So we may not have hit what we could have with that. But then, like, in the pandemic, we did the Wine with DeWine and Snacking with Acton wine glasses. We were just doing thousands of those, and that saved us in the pandemic. I would say that was definitely the most viral thing we've ever done. Try to pick up, like, fun stuff when we can. We did a shirt when I'm blank. I'm horrible with names. But there was a football player, OU football player. He was playing for Tampa Bay when they went to the Super Bowl.
Blair.
No. But he, one of the sports personalities said there was no players from Ohio, like, in the Super Bowl, and he was meaning Ohio State, completely ignoring OU. So we made like I can't even remember the name of the shirt, like just Ohio, like it was like a quote from what he said, and you know, he loved the idea. He actually signed like some shirts for us, and he played in. I'm pretty sure he did play in the Super Bowl. I mean, he got his ring and everything. That was really cool. But yeah, I would say, I mean, there's opportunities out there for me to do some more fun viral stuff out there. You just gotta push it. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I think oftentimes we get dismissed when we're from Athens because people think that if there's quality here, it's it grew here and then it left.
That's
even like even Joe Burrow.
That's again like the thing that I was talking about earlier, like that pressure. Yeah, it's like for sure. It's you got to get out of here. Nothing good is happening here unless you already have a small business or you work. I hope that changes though.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it has to. The pandemic, especially like starting remotely, like it made me realize like, oh, this is real. Like I could do this. But you said you think you're juggling too many things. You mean just like Red Tail Design, Ohio is home at all? You think like it would be easier to hire people, but then it's like a stress of hiring. Like, what do you mean you're juggling too many things? Have you thought about like you're acknowledging that? Like, how would you take steps to regress it, or like, what does that even mean?
Trying to figure that out. I mean, definitely trying to figure out ways where I can disconnect from certain things and have other people do things. But unfortunately, I feel like I built the business kind of around myself, and a lot of people are coming to us for my design idea or something I've made. I've got great employees and they're all super talented and hardworking. And like my store manager, Heather, like she's done some of our apparel designs too. My old developers have taken on a lot of stuff on their own. But yeah, I'm getting back to the point of where, for years starting out, you're kind of just doing anything and everything to like make it and survive and get your name out. And I'm finally to the point where I think that I can slow down, but I think, like I said, my pride of wanting to give certain people the best thing possible keeps me saying yes more than I want to say no, just because you want to help people.
Yeah.
But I am learning and I'm saying no more. I'm figuring out what stuff brings me the most joy in my business.
Has that changed over time?
No, yes and no. I think Ohio is home. Doing designs and stuff for that definitely brings me the most joy. So I'm trying to develop more stuff into that. Sometimes it's far between new product releases. Like we've never had we have a spring collection. Like everything we kind of develop and design like as we go. It would be nice to really sit out and develop that stuff and just take time. Like when you work for somebody else, you have time to, like I used to go to design conferences when I worked for Quidel Diagnostic Hybrids. Don't do that anymore because I don't have the time and I don't have the money.
Yeah.
But that was really cool to do. But yeah, I mean, you have to have self-care when you're doing this kind of stuff. And I think I'm slowly winding back to doing that a little bit more, especially when I have a 3-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
But she loves coming into the store. Like she pretends like she's checking people out. She
fun.
Loves the place. I love it when I see her like wearing stuff we've made. So yeah, I always joke like, this will be your first job, or I hope I have it that long. And also the other thing I'm starting to think about is, you want to develop a business that is sellable. Not that I'm going to sell anything, but at the end of the day, these businesses should be more self-sustaining and have a value that I could sell one day and
independent of you mean?
Yeah, that could be and that could be my daughter's college fund and whatever. So I mean, I'm thinking more about that kind of stuff now. So
yeah. Who's it like? Has it been weird like trying to figure out like just your business finances? Like, do you have anybody helping you with that? Or you literally like the whole shop?
I do everything.
Impressive.
Yeah, I do all the
cool.
invoicing. And
like just like literally, I think earlier you said you just kind of figured the shit out as you went. Like still just that way. Also,
pretty much. I mean, my manager Heather, she does. I've pushed more. She has a kid too, so like where she went from being somebody who was always at the store, then we changed their position to allow them to work from home more. Same happened with my developer when the pandemic hit. Instead of them coming to the office, they're working from home more. Mm-hmm. So we try to be flexible with that because I need that flexibility too. But she really helps with a lot of invoicing and handles a lot more of the custom customer ordering. I mean, because we do a lot of apparel, a lot of custom stuff for other businesses, not just the Ohio is Home stuff. So that's helped me out a ton. I mean, yeah, I used to do everything. I still do a lot, but the finances, and I mean it's super stressful because at the end of the day, it's gotten a lot better where I pay myself more regularly than I used to, which is nice. Yeah, but there are times where like there would be a couple months where I was just like, can't pay myself. I just want to hang on. I'd rather put that money back into the business or whatever. So
have you been able to do that because you've your wife also having like the income? Is that what has afforded you?
Yeah. My wife's always had a steady job, working for OU now, but other universities, doing things. So yeah, I mean, for a while the insurance was on me. Now, because she's at OU, she carries the insurance, so that gives us more flexibility too. Cool. But yeah, I mean, all of our employees who were full time, we had full benefits and everything that I continued carrying on from when we worked at Electronic Vision. So yeah, I mean, I've always done my best. I still wish I could pay people more, and I guess even like our starting positions, people jump at the chance for them because I guess I'm still paying more than a lot of other places in town, which is kind of surprising. But yeah, it's the more success we have, I always hope that spreads around to everybody.
Yeah, which is, I think, something you said earlier. Like you said that you were really proud of the stuff that you make in Ohio's home, and then you said that you want to give other people things that they would be proud of as well. It's like you want to give them that same thing that brings you enjoyment. Like that's really beautiful, Well,
yeah, and as I said, that's a blessing and a curse because I will sit there and get like mad, like, oh, they went with that, and I'm just like, oh, we could have done it so much better. There's times where I'm just texting in the middle of the night to my employees were like, oh, did you see what so and so did? Like, gosh, we should have just done it for free because then they would have had something nicer. And I can't live like that, but it is what it is. So it's a flaw, but at the same time, I don't know, it helps us be successful too. It's a weird catch-22 thing, I guess.
Yeah. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate your time. I appreciate you coming down here. Second episode, Always Athens. Shout out. I think you talked about a lot of great stuff. I don't want to shoo you out of here. Like, it's 12:15. Do you have anywhere to be? We could keep talking.
Yeah, no. I just want to say I really appreciate somebody doing something like this. Yeah. Putting a spotlight on people who are still in Athens and investing in Athens. I mean, I think we all deserve a shout out, and people need to realize that there's still great things here, and we're investing here and staying here, and the talent is above and beyond what you find in other places. So yeah, it's worth it.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Awesome. Athens, Ohio. Tim Martin, I appreciate you so much.
No problem. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yep. Thanks. Yeah.